All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody?
What's up? What's up?
This is your boy DNP Speaks, and I got a special, and I mean special, a guest tonight. He's a guest to y'all, but he ain't a guest to me. I've been knowing this dude pretty much all my life. This is my bro, Mr. Timothy Reed. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Man, appreciate you having me on your platform, man. I
Yes,
greatly appreciate it, man. It is indeed an honor, man.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I've been knowing this dude, man. This is one of my best friends, man. This is the guy I've been telling y'all about. He's an awesome bass player. He don't want me to put him out there like that. He lives in the Atlanta area, the Georgia area. If you're looking for a wonderful, amazing bass player, got a lot of heart and care about what he does and loves music, hit this man up. Hit this man up.
Appreciate it.
So, what you say, bro?
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
man.
bro.
Yeah. So tonight it's not going to be a long convo, but we want to just get on really quick. We've been seeing some stuff in the news, but we're just going to have a little commentary. But I want you guys to have some comments. Tonight we're just talking about. We're going to talk about freedom. We're going to talk about a couple things, but one of the things I really want to talk about is how certain things that we go through, right? Certain things that we deal with. We see that the young lady that was I can't think of her name right now. It's leaving me. What's the young girl? I say her name wrong all the time. My wife always
Uh,
corrects me.
uh,
Um,
Shikari
Takara
Richardson.
Richardson. There we go. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little older. Well, he's actually older than me, but that's another story for another day. How
27 days, 28 days, something like
you
that.
better believe it. You better believe it. So this young lady, she was doing her thing on the track, right? But she got caught, with marijuana. Let's just put it out there. That's what she
Yeah.
got caught with, right? And at first, they weren't even going to allow her to qualify to go to the Olympics and do the track and field thing that she was doing, right? But now we found out that she has a 30-day suspension, and when that suspension is over, she might be able to, get back into what she's been working her whole life.
Mm.
Um, reason why I brought my bro on, we're gonna talk about a few things tonight. But the reason why I really wanted him to come on because not only is he a exceptional bass player, but this man has a mind. He's brilliant. He's not going to agree, but I will say he has a brilliant mind. I feel like he has a lot to say.
I appreciate
So
it.
my first, yes, sir, all the time, always. My first thing that I want to bring up, bro, and I just want to get your opinion. This is all opinionated. We're not sitting here as experts. We talk a lot, but we thought it would be a good idea to open this conversation up to other people, and just kind of see where everybody's mind is and kind of get a perspective of what we think about. So my question is to you, man, how do you feel about the whole situation when it comes to Ms. Richardson? That whole situation.
Um, the whole Shikari Richardson um thing that happened. I what I really respected about her and what I really liked about her is that she took accountability for what she did. It wasn't no excuses. It wasn't nothing like that. It's like that you're being an Olympian or a potential Olympian.
Yeah.
There's stringent rules and things like that, i.e. drug tests. That's with any sports, organization. That's with any, sports entity, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, doesn't matter. They take, drugs and, PEDs, performance enhancing drug use, very seriously. And so, she didn't follow those rules. So when she
Mm-hmm.
got tested, which they always do, they always test you for performance enhancing drugs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't pass because she has a drug in her system that gets
Right.
detected by their tests. And although it's i.e. marijuana, most people smoke it, in quite a few states now, it's totally legal. In the state actually that she's in, it is legal, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not legal for her competing for the Olympics. And so I like how she took accountability. She warmed up, was like, look, nobody made me do anything. It's like I made a choice. I have to live with those consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I also like the fact that Nike backed her. It was the fact that, you know, she was upfront and honest, and everybody is kind of up in the roar. It was only weed, and you know, and then they tried to bring up, well, Michael Phelps, and they had him with a big bong and a picture of a bong. Okay, he had a picture of a bong.
Right.
He wasn't performing at that point. He wasn't
That's right.
competing at that point.
Right.
He knew if he was competing, he had to be clean.
Right.
She wasn't clean when it was time for her to be tested to compete.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew that. So she took ownership of that. So everybody, you know, trying to, you know, deflect and make it a race. It's not a race thing. Everybody has to go through the same stringent standards. And
well, let me ask you this.
enough.
Let me ask you this, not to interject, but why do you think people thought it was a race thing?
They was thinking, well, because, you know, she's been a really polarizing figure in the past few months. Like, I remember from a couple years back, but for the past few months, like she was doing the national trials and all that, and she was just killing, and everybody's like, oh, yo, she gonna be the new FloJo, the new, you know, all of that. Like, she's gonna represent, you know, for the US. You know, she's a black woman, because, you know, with Simone Biles, and they got a whole lot of young black women competing in the gymnastics arena, and they are killing. Simone Biles is killing, bro.
Yes.
You know, I follow her on social media. I'm like, she's been killing, man. Like, very inspirational person. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's looking at Sha'Carri Richardson in that same light. Like, she's really going, you know, put, you know, black people on her back kind of thing. Because people like to see that with everything that's been going on in 2020, 2021. You know, we all know, you know how far that goes back. George Floyd, you know, right. Everybody, you know, that's just one of the figures, you know, but everybody was looking at her as this polarizing figure for black people.
Right.
And then for it, it's like, man, you got caught doing that. And they're like,
so well, let me ask you, go ahead.
Reasons for why, okay. Well, they didn't do this to this person. No, it's an accountability thing. So it's like you trying to take accountability off her when she hold herself accountable. You can't do nothing but respect a person who holds themselves accountable, and don't try to crutch them and then take accountability away from them. Right. That don't make no sense to me.
And that's a great point. And this is my next point. Now, a lot of people to that point feel the opposite. Why would she put herself in that predicament? She should be ashamed of herself. She's not representing the black community like she's supposed to. She, you know, how could she pretty much do that to us? But a lot of people, hopefully they recognize this young lady lost her mother, I believe, a week before that race was televised.
Yeah.
And me being a person that has lost a parent, and I'm almost 37 years old, I'll be 37 on the 20th. That is not easy to deal with.
No,
not at all. I'm still dealing with my father not being here. I'm still dealing with the remnants of knowing when I go home, he's not there, but he's in a grave site that I can only visit him. My thing is, because the title tonight is "You Can't Hold Me Back." Now, she could allow the weed thing to hold you back, but before we get to that more, she could allow the situation with losing a parent, her mother, somebody that birthed her, her biological mother. She could have let that take her out. I want you to speak on that really quickly. Why do you think that didn't take her out?
I think it didn't take her out because, you know, I think it's kind of that inherent strength I think we all have. And I think some people don't know it. They don't know how strong they are until they have to go through something that actually tested.
Yeah.
You never know how strong you are. It's like you hear somebody else, well, I don't know how I could have did that. How could I did that? And then your testing trials come, and then it's like, you know, you gotta keep on living. You gotta keep on pushing. And she did the best that she knew how to do. You know, she's a young woman. What is she? Early 20s? You know what I'm saying? She's a Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? A kid. So it's like, you know, you got all of this on your shoulders, you know, trying to perform. And then it's like, in the midst of performing, somebody as close as a parent, not an aunt or uncle, not a cousin, your mother,
Your
the
mom.
person who birthed you. It's like, I couldn't imagine that, and it's, she didn't, and the fact that she didn't even use that as a crutch, it was almost like people were using it as a crutch for her. If you've seen all the memes and stuff, well, her mom
Exactly.
just died and all of this stuff. She didn't use that as a crutch. She know her mom died.
Right.
But she also said, I'm human. It was just those simple 2 words, I'm human. That should take away what everybody's saying about her, whether it be, well, they didn't do that for this person, whether the people that are trying to pacify it or whether people who are trying to condemn her. Those should be the only 2 words that she gotta say. You know what I'm saying? To be like,
Right.
you know what? She's right. Although she's this polarizing figure, just all of a sudden, she's still just a person like me.
That's right.
Who knows what I would do, if my mother died.
Yeah.
The woman who birthed me, if she just happened to leave this earth right now, you don't know what you would do.
No.
So I really give her big ups for, handling the whole situation, like an adult. Like, she did something that was really kiddish. Just like, look, you competing for the Olympics. You know, this is a big thing. This could be a big thing for you. This could literally take you to a whole nother level.
That's right.
And you do something like that. But once again, she made a mistake. She realizes it. Now it's like, man, I messed up.
Yeah.
And she owns up to that. And that's the first part to me. That's the biggest part to when you make a mistake, is owning up to that and not trying to shift the blame like people are doing for her in her stead. She's like, nah, I'm good. She got to ride that 30 days out. And when she comes back, she'll be a smarter person because she took a mistake and she used it as gas to be like, I never do nothing crazy like that again. I got to think about the bigger picture. That's how I look at it.
And that's such a good point, because I wrote down that she owned that. She could have just said, "Oh, I didn't know what it was." Something egregious, something like straight crazy,
Yeah.
I didn't really do that. They lying on me. No, we got evidence, but she didn't do that. And this is my point to a lot of people. We got to start owning what we do and what we say. If we make a mistake, we made a bad decision, it's not the end of the world. Say, I made a mistake. I made a bad decision. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have went that way. I shouldn't have smoked that. I shouldn't have done this or did that. Owning your wrong will bring truth to your life. I'll say it again. Owning your wrong will bring truth to your life, because if you continue to lie, you got to do another lie on top of that lie, and then you get to the place that you're continuously lying and nobody can believe you. And then when people can't believe you, then trust is lost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, bro.
So like, go ahead.
Nah. Go ahead.
I just think that it just even with, if we can be honest, how we grew up, we didn't grow up the same, but we grew up similar. We were musicians. Our parents took us to church. And I tried to do my best. I was just talking to my wife earlier about, I tried to do my best. I'm not going to get into everything, but I had to own my truth. There were certain things that, were good for me, but there were certain things that how I grew up, and there's no knock against my parents or anything, but it was just something, some of the things that I had to go through, especially being involved in church so much. I didn't really learn those things until I started to really mature and to grow up. And I had to learn how to own certain things. Everything was sometimes was just kind of pushed over with scripture. And I couldn't really own my truth because I couldn't talk.
Right.
I couldn't talk about what I really was going through. And you might say, what does this have to do with you can't hold me back? We're talking about this situation because we need to learn how to be more truthful of who we are really. Like, stop trying to have this facade or trying to put on masks. Yes, we wear the mask. I wish I had my mask right now. So we wearing the mask because of COVID, But if we could be honest, a lot of us have been wearing masks for years, and we're not really holding our truth. So we're allowing these things to set us back. We set us back. You want to kind of talk about that real quick?
Yeah, I think everybody kind of goes through that at some point or another. I think that, we can easily see it in other people before we see it in ourselves. It's
That's good,
hard
bro.
for us to see that, for us to, kind of just tell the truth and shame the devil. You know how, old folks used to tell you, I used to hear my grandmother say, tell the truth, shame the devil. It's like,
Right.
but it's real. It's like you laugh at it and that'd be like, oh man, I remember grandma used to say that. But it's so true. It's like live in truth. And I could tell you from personal experience. When I was younger, and I think some people have gone through it. I'll just share my story, quick synopsis a little bit.
Sure.
That when I was in junior high school, and I've told my wife this too, that I went through, identity crisis. And I think those are those years where you go through that phase of trying to figure out who it is that you really are. And
I never knew that, bro.
Yup. I'm trying to follow the crowd.
Wow.
I'm not living in my truth. I'm not living as my true self. I'm trying so busy to be somebody else, to be with the crowd, to be somebody who I'm not, to be accepted. To me, your true acceptance comes from knowing who you are, walking in your truth. And then while you're walking in your truth, people will see you for your truth and they will respect your truth. The people that care, the people who don't care, it's okay. Not everybody's going to like you. But they have to respect you if you respect yourself first. That's how I look at it.
You have to respect yourself. I didn't know you were dealing with that. Now let me put this out there, y'all. What I say, I've been knowing him. How long has it been since? Is it elementary?
Yeah, since elementary, since like we was like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, we're a few years away from 40. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time, and I did not know you were dealing with that because honestly, I dealt with that. Like I said, I couldn't own my truth because every time that I wanted to talk about certain things, I did allow a lot of stuff to hold me back from like owning my truth. I couldn't talk to this one. I couldn't talk to that one. I couldn't talk to my parents about what I was dealing with. So it held me back from really maturing. And I want to say this to a lot of people. If you have somebody that you really trust, that you can really talk to, and you're young like us, or you're younger, or you're watching this and you're like, hey, I don't know. You guys dealt with it, but I'm dealing with something different. Listen, nothing is new under the sun. There's different situations for everybody, but everybody has went through something similar. It might not be the same, but similar. I just want to encourage you. If you have somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you can trust, talk to them. Don't deal with whatever you're dealing with by yourself. Like, talk to them. The next thing I want to talk about when it comes to that whole situation is, but I want to move a little bit further, is time. Sometimes I feel like we abuse time. The time that we've been given, because we're going back to, again, you can't hold me back. If you're coming on new, and you're coming to this broadcast on Facebook and YouTube, we're talking about you can't hold me back. I have my brother here, my best friend for many, many, many years. His name is Mr. Timothy Reed, and my name is DMP Speaks. I'm a motivational speaker and self-esteem coach. And welcome. We don't have a title for this segment yet, but that's just what we have.
It'll work.
Just kind of running with it. But talk about time for a minute, Tim. Like, do you feel like we abuse time or we don't use time wisely?
Yeah, I think that I think that a lot of people don't use time wisely. We're all guilty of it. 100% of us are guilty of it. And if somebody says, I don't never waste time, you capping. You truly are capping, because I think at any point in time, we've wasted time in some degree, whether it been like your mama told you to do them chores. It's like, yeah, I do them. And you sitting there playing with your toys and all that stuff. And an hour come out, you ain't clean your room. It's like, I'm a cleaning, and you still playing. And then 2 hours later, she come in there with the belt. And then now it's like, you mad? It's like, well, what did I do? You wasted time.
Waste of
You
time.
could have had all this done and still play with your toys. And this is just me using an example.
Yeah.
Just, just a broad example, just a broken down example, real simple example. You had 2 hours to get your toys together and get them in line, or get your room together where you could have played with your toys after you did that.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't. You spent more time playing than you did actually doing the constructive thing.
Yeah.
And now you got to pay the price for it. But now when you look back on it, you can be like, yeah, you know what? You will take ownership and be like, yeah, I did waste that time. I should have made better use of the time. I could have did both had I really been thinking. I was only thinking about how I felt in that moment and what felt good in that moment, and I think, we all have a tendency to waste time, but time is precious. Time is very precious. Just like you were talking about with Shikari, and her mom dying. She didn't know her mom was going to die, on her. What I mean? Right at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So, time is just it's a precious thing.
Yeah.
It is a very precious thing, and it's something that shouldn't be taken for granted. It really shouldn't be taken for granted.
And I like what you said, the price of time. It's crazy because, when we were in our 20s, before we got our houses and all that stuff, and we paying all these bills now and mortgage. Ain't no joke, y'all. Ain't no joke.
No.
When we were in our 20s, man, a lot of us, me and him, I know our other brothers too, we were playing music. We were talking to girls. We ain't had no, I mean, I had endeavors. You probably had future endeavors, but I wasn't really focused. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I wish at 36, almost 37, I wish when I was 27 and 25 and 22, I had a little bit more ambition. And I feel like I allowed time to get away from me. And it did hold me back. It held me back from the mindset that I have now. It held me back from opportunity because I was afraid. I was afraid. If we could be honest, a lot of you are afraid to move on. You're afraid to take that step because you're worried that it's not going to work. Listen, I've been there. I've been there many times that I feel like this is just not going to work. I don't have the skills like the next person or next guy. I don't have the knowledge and understanding. I don't have the credentials. But the word that comes to me is yet. See, you can't allow things to hold you back because it hasn't happened yet. A lot of us, we pay the price of wasting time. And that time, unfortunately, because that's just how things go, we can't get it back. But the time that you have now, since you have the information, since you are more knowledgeable, maybe you have waken up, your brain has awakened. Maybe you are around woke people. And now, instead of you allowing time to hold you back, you're using time as a push. And I want to speak to that. You can't focus on what has happened. I'll say that again. You cannot focus on what has happened in your past. Your past is your past. Now it's time for you to move forward. And as we go forward, because I'm going to give a few more minutes, as I know you guys are probably tired of us. Hopefully not. I hope they're enjoying this. And if you enjoy this, please share this, because I feel like somebody will be able to get something out of this and they'll be able to really make some changes for their lives. Another segment, another piece of this, you can't keep me back. Tim, do you feel, and I want your honest opinion, bro, because I know you'll keep it real. Do you feel relationships can hold us back? I know that's a big one for everybody. Do you feel relationships? Let me be more specific. Between a man and a woman, do you feel like in a relationship, if you're with a woman, of course, his wife is my sister's beautiful person inside out. She got my brother's back all sides, right? But what if you were with someone right now and they didn't do the things that your wife does? They were the total opposite. Do you feel that you have wasted time now? Do you feel like you would have wasted time?
So you mean like
Right.
past,
Mhm. Yeah.
like in the past, if I were ever with somebody and it's like,
With somebody different. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, with age, like you said before, with age comes wisdom. And now that I'm 37 now, it's like, man, I know a lot more now than I did at 27, like you said, 25, 22, yada yada. Yeah, absolutely. So now you see the signs. It's like,
Yeah.
man, this isn't going anywhere. It's like, but it's up to the person to realize that. And I
Yeah.
was,
Speak on that. Speak on that. The
yeah,
person.
me and my wife have, just random conversations.
Mhm.
And we were actually talking about relationships and how people are in relationships and they just stay in relationships out of comfortability. It's just like, well, I have somebody and I don't want to be back out on the dating market. I don't want to have to get back out there and start all over again. But the relationship you're really in isn't going anywhere. And let's say at the end of the day, you're a woman and you wanted to be married.
Yeah.
And the man is just kind of playing around and y'all playing house and y'all living together, y'all doing everything together. Y'all may even have children together already. I don't
Yeah.
know anybody's situation. I'm just speaking on different situations.
Mm-hmm.
You may have all of that, but this person doesn't want to marry you and you care about them. You love them a lot. Would you stay because it's familiar to you, it's comfortable, because y'all have history? And that's a word that people tend to use a lot. It's like, well, we got history together. We got this, we got that. I don't want to just waste all that we built. What are you really building if it's not leading anywhere?
That's
So
good.
to me, you got to have a purpose of what it is that you've built. Otherwise, you just building to, what are you building for? I could
Yeah.
be building a house and feel like I'm finished and be in there and it's not finished. I ain't got windows on there. I ain't got a door. And I'm just sitting there happy, looking at her waving. Hey, look at my house. I ain't got no doors on it. I ain't got no windows. My foundation leaning and stuff like that. But to me, I got a fully functioning house here. Or I got a fully functioning house, lights and everything. I ain't got no plumbing. Breaking it down like that. So you're
Yeah.
missing key components within a relationship. And I hate to go way left. Let's take it back. Now you're wasting time. You wasted so much time. There could have been somebody out there for you.
Yeah.
That could have, had your best interests at heart and could have had that intention. And when I met my wife, I was like, of course I cared about her, fell in love with her, all of that. Somebody had asked me a question. We had did a singles ministry at a church that we're members of down here.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman asked me a question and he was like, who is she to you? I was like, in a few simple words, I said, she's my intended. That means I have intentions with her. Yeah. I have an end goal. And everybody has an end goal. You go to school, you have an end goal to get a undergrad.
Right.
Master's, PhD, you have an end goal. I start a game, I have an end goal to finish it. I start something.
Yeah.
I have the means to finish it. It's the same thing with relationships. You start a relationship, somebody, there should be a means to finishing it. There should be a means to evolution within that. It shouldn't be just, oh, we just gonna see how it go. And look, when you dating, that's when you see how it go. It's like, but you're still dating with intention. And I think people waste a lot of time because they're not intent on what it is that they want. Everybody knows what they want. And if somebody's not on that same wavelength with you, it's okay to walk away. Because
why is it so? Let me ask you this: why is it so hard for people to walk away?
Once again, I think it goes back to the history of things. And I don't want to sound chauvinistic, but I'm just gonna say it straight up. I think the nurturer in a woman, a woman is less likely to walk away from a situation than a man is, because men are logical. So men are gonna think with a logical mind to be like, well, she don't seem interested in me. She seemed like she doing this and doing that and stuff. I'm not about to waste my time. And the dude just be like, look, I'm out. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
woman would be like, well, even if a dude's not doing everything he's supposed to do, he's not being intentional with where they're going. He's giving her no direction. She might stay a little bit if it's been long enough and be like, you know what, I'm gonna try. It's the nurturer in a woman.
Yeah.
It's almost to a fault. And
To a
I've talked
fault.
about this with my wife. She's like, yeah, I can see that. It's almost to a fault because you could be with a man for a year and it just seemed like you've grown stagnant and you're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you down the line, you together 3 years and you still ain't going nowhere. And then you
Yeah.
together 5, and then you together 7, and then you might have children. And then it's like you 7, 8, 10 years down the line, and you got children and a family, and you got all this stuff, but you're not married. So, the end goal has never been realized. You had, where was the end goal? You just kind of just went over it, and you're staying just out of necessity because you don't want to start over. And to me, I don't think that's a way to live. I think that's just the empty way to live. And some people will be like, well, I don't need that. We don't need marriage. But if you really think about it, I think everybody wants to be married. Everybody wants to leave a legacy.
That's
marriage
right.
is more than just a piece of paper. Marriage is building a legacy.
Right.
Marriage is leaving a legacy for the next generation.
Right.
Leaving a legacy for your children, and so on and so on.
That's good. And I think that's the thing that I wanted to put out as well. We as men, we're leaving a legacy. I don't believe I'm trying to do all these great things that God has given me and capability to do, not just for myself. I'm leaving this for my wife. I'm leaving it for my children's children. Like it's so much bigger than me. So I have to be around or be with, I should say, when it comes to this particular kind of relationship that we're talking about, the right woman. You got to be with the right woman, and it has to be more than what she looks like.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. Has to be more. Yes, I know what I like. I love chocolate. That's exactly what the Lord gave me. Gave me a good chocolate with white teeth, right? But she had so much more than just the physicality for me. It was the relational that we had, the relationship. We were able to relate to each other. And she's not holding me back. She's actually pushing me forward. If I could tell you so much conversations, if you could be like an ant on the wall, you'll be surprised how much she pushes me every single day. There's times, if I could be honest, I have felt like I wanted to give up. I wanted to quit coaching. I wanted to quit this and I wanted to quit that. And she says, no, God has equipped you, but I'm here to push you along so that you can do and fulfill what he has given you. And I think that's the biggest thing that I will tell any single man or every single way when we just talk to the single man for a moment. Don't get with somebody and don't settle just for them. And I'm saying this to the young women too. Don't just settle with a guy because he looks good and he got money. Because if that's all you're going for, man, you're going to be unhappy. Because if you can't talk, if you can't laugh, if they can't be there in the rough times, and I'm not even just talking about financially, that's a big one. I'm talking about when you lose a parent, when you feel like you're down and you feel like you're out. If that woman can't be there, if you can't, and I say this to my wife all the time, we love sitting in sweats, her wearing my clothes and watching movies. That's my best time with my wife is when I'm chilling with her. We're not going to the fancy restaurant, even though I want to wine and dine her. If I cooked, hear me, brothers, if I cooked a meal, right, grilled it up, whatever I done, it's the time that I put in. It's the investment that I put in. She is overly joyed because I did it.
Yep.
Not somebody else. I put the time in. I surprised her with something. We had a little, I won't even say argument, it was a little disagreement. And I think I hurt her feelings or whatever. And the only reason why I bought her something is something because it was something small. It was inexpensive. it was something as a gesture of I hear you, and because I hear you, I apologize. And was something small. And I tell you, the rest of the day, her day, she told me was better because I put the time in, I put the effort in, I put the investment. So the reason why we're talking about this relationship thing is because if we can be honest, there's a lot of married couples that are our age, bro, that
Mhm.
don't they feel like their spouses are holding them back and they're not pushing them forward. A lot of men are not happy, a lot of women are not happy. And I just feel like it's important to talk about this when we're talking about you can't hold me back. And I'm not telling you to sever your relationship. I'm saying to
Right.
work on it.
Right. Yeah. It's like you definitely want to put out there. We ain't saying you can't hold me back as in, look, I'm about to leave or whatever,
Right.
I'm about to walk away. It's like, forget this.
Right.
No, not at all. Not
Right.
at all. That is not the case,
Right.
especially with marriage. You know what I mean? Marriage is work, and I'm sorry to have cut you off, bro.
No, go ahead,
Uh,
bro. It's good.
Marriage is work. There's
Mhm.
more to marriage than just the wedding. And it seems like a lot of people just get married for the wedding. The
Yeah.
real work is after you get married.
Right.
What are you doing after that? Because this is going to be the two of you. That's all you're going to have is one another. But that's all you need. If you
Yeah.
think about it, that's all our parents needed. They had each other. You know, your dad had his job,
Yeah.
mom might have been working over here, and they built a family, they had some children, they brought it together, they did their level best to raise their children up and teach them the right way. And that's how we got our parents. And then our parents, in turn got us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just the natural order of things.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's going to take work. And I think people in this society today don't realize the work it takes. You just want the glamour. It's more than just the glamour of taking the pictures and posting them on social media
Yeah.
and all of that. Trust me, I show my wife off on social media all the time. Every now and again, it's like, man, that's a beautiful picture. I post it up because it's beautiful to me.
Right.
And I want to show my wife off. So it's things like that. It's like, you want to uplift your spouse. It's
Right.
not just always about the husband uplifting the wife, or, wife uplifting the husband, or being
Mhm.
financial or being
Right.
cosmetic.
Right.
We look good together. We're a power couple, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
when nobody's watching, when you ain't got nobody garnering for your attention, it's just you and your spouse.
Mhm.
And that's all you need. And if you're going in it the right way, you'll know that. But if you're going in it if you're going in it for the wrong reasons, they do have a tendency to break down. But let's just put it back in line with what the subject is. You can't hold me back. That could go for a couple versus the outside world. You
Perfectly
can't
said.
hold us back.
Right.
You can't hold us back from our destiny. This is our bond. This is our love. This is our union. And you're not going to hold us back. You're not
Now,
going to derail us.
that's good. And this is our last thing, and we're going to let you guys go. Since we're talking about relationships, we'll come back. We'll part the marriage thing. I hope that you guys got something from that. What about toxic people? We're going to end on this. What about when we're talking about you can't hold me back? When we're dealing with toxic people, friends, your bro, your girl, you know what I mean, associates, people at that you spend a lot of time with, but they're toxic. How can toxic people hold you back?
Man, toxic people are just that. They're toxic. It's like, how you ingest something. Let's say you get like food poisoning or something. It's
Mhm.
toxic to your body. It gets you sick. Your body is, yeah, regurgitating whatever. Either way, this way or that way. You're trying to get it out of your body. You're trying to shoo it out of your body to make yourself feel better. What do you do with toxic people in your life? Get them out of your life.
Get them out. You got to
Because they're
move.
not conducive to your happiness.
Right.
People who truly, truly care about you are not going to try to make your life harder. People who are really your friends are not going to be one way in your face and then be talking about you and, you know, throwing dirt on your name and sullying your name behind your back.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Same thing that goes in relationships. People that really care about you, you know, aren't going to throw your name in the mud. They ain't going to be out here doing you dirty like that. You know what I mean? And people use that word a lot. Toxic, toxic, toxic. And some people are willingly in toxic situations, which I can never understand, because if you had toxins in your body is naturally built to expel toxins out. So the fact that people will willingly deal with toxicity in their life is just crazy. It's like you dealing with dysfunction. Your body is not meant to function with toxins in it. That's right. Neither is your life. Your life is not meant to function with toxicity in it. But I think it goes back to society with me too. It's like toxic society is what's popular. Dysfunction, craziness. Dysfunction.
Yes.
I can't live. Me personally, this is me personally talking. I can't live like that. I'm one of the least stressful people I know, bro. I don't like stress.
No,
I don't like drama. I stay away from it. Y'all stay over there. I don't want none of that over here in my life.
Yeah.
And I think when more people look at it like that, you know, and it seems like, especially with toxicity and people, like you were saying, people from the outside can always see what you don't see. You know how people be looking at you? It's like, man, you don't look like you feeling too well today.
Right.
So, you know, people from the outside looking in can see it on you. Yeah. It's like they can see the trouble that's in your life. They can see the toxicity. And sometimes you don't see it. You're so busy trying to hold on to it when you really just need to just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
You gotta you see what he did? He said, let it go. Because you know what? I know it's hard for a lot of us. And he knows, I ain't gonna say the name. I was in a toxic relationship with somebody back home. You know exactly what I'm talking about, bro. And I thought she was the one, but it was very toxic for me. It was toxic for her. I've had some friendships that I had to recently let them go because they were literally holding me back. I thought they were happy for me when I moved, but I found out they weren't really happy for me. They tolerated me because they wanted what I had, but they knew I wasn't this person that thought I was better than anybody, but I wanted more, but they wanted to stay where they were. They wanted to gossip. They wanted to just stir up so much trouble. And I'm like, I don't need that. I'm too old for that. I have too many responsibilities that are in my hands. And I don't have time to focus on what you are doing because I see you not going anywhere. I see you not doing anything. So I said to myself, I have to stay away from toxic people and toxic relationships and toxic situations. Sometimes you don't even know that person is really toxic. And like you said, until you start to feel it, you wonder why am I so down? Why is my mind down? Why is my thought process so negative? Well, it could be who you hanging around with.
Yep, you look in your circle, man.
Your circle. And if your circle is messed up, it means your atmosphere is messed up because your atmosphere can't be conducive to produce the right things. You're producing wrong things. So you're holding yourself back. So I'm just encouraging you all, if you are in a toxic relationship, whether it's platonic or, with your significant other, talk about it. Especially if you're in marriage and you're in a real serious relationship, have a conversation. If you need help, counseling, whatever. But if you're around toxic people and all they do is gossip, all they do is they're never happy, everything is wrong, and they spend more time talking about that situation and that person than working on themselves, it might be time for you to make an exit stage left or stage right, because you don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing as we close. I'm going to give you 1 minute to kind of close up any thoughts that you have, and then I'll give my minute and then we'll be done. So anything that you want to say tonight, bro, give you 1 minute out and we'll close with you and we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah, it just goes back to holding back and letting people hold you back, or not letting people hold you back. Sorry. Everything you said is right on the money, man. It's okay to let people go out of your life. You you always hear that expression, if somebody's causing you any trouble, anybody, anything like that. Sometimes you need to just pray and move on. It's okay. Not everybody's going to be able to go with you
right
where you go. You on the ascension, not everybody's meant to be there with you. You might be with somebody totally different, but doesn't mean that those people don't matter. You can pray for them and move on, and you can be comfortable in yourself knowing that, look, I mean, ill will, but I know in order for me to break free and not be held back, I have to take that account. Once again, going back, I got to take that accountability and see the big picture and be like, you know what? Everything I'm doing is not conducive to what it is that I say that I want.
All right.
Out of life is not conducive to success. And it's nothing against you. I mean, ill will. I pray for you and I keep moving. Right. And that way, you're not wasting your own time trying to make somebody happy who's really toxic in your life. Oh, I just brought it all together. But it's serious. Like, it's that deep, man. It's deep. Toxicity can, man, it's deep, bro. I could go all day, man. But I know we got to wrap it up, man.
But what,
that's just my thoughts on it.
No, that's good, bro. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. It is, I don't understand this man, like I said, is a brilliant bass player, but this man got a brilliant mind. We're going to be back on another time. We're going to work some things out. But if you enjoyed this, share this on your Facebook page, YouTube. Share it on your YouTube channel, because we're coming back. We're coming back strong, baby. We're going to be doing it.
Yes, sir.
Guys, just do me a favor. If you enjoyed this, share this. But I thank you so much, bro, for your time. Great
for having me once again, man.
Man. Yes, sir. So we're going to definitely do this again very, very soon. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any comments that you guys didn't put on Facebook or YouTube, hit me up. You can email me at dmpspeaks@gmail.com. But we're going to do this again. We're going to make this bigger and better. But thank you so much for your time. God bless. And don't let nothing hold you back. Keep moving, keep going, and you're going to see everything that you've been working for. Peace, y'all.
Peace.